Hello everyone, my name is Ananya Shree.
For my inspiration, I took the memories and stories of my childhood. To give you a little background, I grew up in a very organic environment. My house had a huge garden right in front, and it was filled with all sorts of big trees. All around, there were mango and gulmohar trees, squirrels and birds chirping and playing with each other, and creepers climbing over the trees and my house. From a child's perspective, it was an unkept jungle. I grew up reading stories, and my grandmother, who would sit with me under the mango tree while she fed breadcrumbs to the sparrows, used to tell me stories of kings, gods, and panchtantra. I remember my grandmother had a wall hanging that was made from embroidery that depicted a scene from a village, which I later got to know was made from Sujini embroidery. It's mainly done in Muzaffarpur village of Bihar, from where my grandmother belongs. So this craft is mainly done by women of this village, which started as a sustainable way to reuse suti saris to make wall hanging and quilts for newborn babies by using running stitches to join the fabrics together. The women draw motifs of God or tell their own stories through this craft, so I took the concept of storytelling to tell my own stories through this craft. Since this craft is used for making quilts and wall hangings, there was an opportunity to use this in clothes as well. I decided to mix this craft with menswear casual for millennials living in mega cities of India. I started the process with collecting all the primary photos of my home, my childhood, the letters and stories that I used to write. I drew the things that I remembered from my childhood, like how my house looked to me, the mango buds, the gulmohars and canal flowers, my Dadaji's ambassador, which was covered with creepers, the kadam fruit, which is a local fruit grown in Bihar, and started with my own artworks, taking all these elements which were so special to me. I wanted to use the storytelling element from my craft in my artworks, which further took me to the illustrated children's book, where there aren't many words, but it depicts the whole story visually. So I decided to take a little girl's character inspired from my own and her friend, a squirrel, who were off on their own adventure. The girl and the squirrel are on their own whimsical fantasy world of fun and innocence. I took the squirrel as one of my main elements of my story because of an incident which happened to me as a child. I wrote a letter to my elder brother to bring a squirrel's baby to me so that I could keep it as a pet and raise it. These are the swatches that I got made of my artwork using the running stitches. When I started researching more on menswear, I saw there is an untapped market of casual wear for men. I took some inspiration from the traditional men's clothing and tried to give a fresh and contemporary take to it. I combined kimono and bomber jackets to the Indian kurtas or layered it with a drapey t-shirt or make the kurta short and paired it with a jacket. I took some reference from WGSN as well and made it relevant to the Indian market. I used anti-fit silhouettes for a more relaxed and comfortable wear which can be worn by different body types. The artwork that I used for my final ensemble is an illustration of a girl and her squirrel friend going into their own world of fantasy. The entrance is made of books, and you can see Gunjan Ki Dunya written on the cover of one of the books, with mango trees all around and my Dadaji's ambassador at one side. And at the back of the jacket, you can see them playing hide and seek among the mango trees. As a child, I was always fascinated with things that were invisible to others' eyes, and I wanted to take this idea further into my design, so I decided to make a custom lining for my jacket where I used all the hand drawn sketches, taking elements from my childhood, a detail which isn't visible to the eyes at first, but it's there and it makes the garment special and personal and tells the story behind it. Since it's menswear, I wanted to focus on the little details and functionalities as well. There are buttons and pockets, and I used Sujini running threads, adding details on the plackets and cuffs. Even the buttons that were used are coconut shell buttons to keep the whole garment in accordance to the mood of the collection. The embroidery done on the jacket is kept in a color tone which is not too contrasting and loud. In several places, I've used color on color to make the embroidery more subtle and appropriate for menswear. The different ensemble represents a different chapter of the story. The pieces are kept in balance, as some garment pieces are quite classic, like a striped kurta or a simple trouser, while some have a twist, like an asymmetrical white shirt. Some pieces are a little experimental and ornate, like the embroidered jacket. Since this collection is for transitional season, the pieces are kept in such a way that the linen cotton shirts and pants can be worn in summer and can be layered with the light jackets when it gets cold. The price range is set keeping the client market in mind, their spending habit and their income.